But when I look at you as well as all the other pastors rising up, including leaders rising up,
That's true.
actually, we have transited well.
It's true.
I think one thing you have transited well is that you have taken on the burdens well.
Honestly speaking, not trying to butter you up, I honestly do think you and Pastor Choo have transited well. You've led well, and you've led the strategy of transition.
Much as they were men, and it's hard to sit on a board of men, being the only woman, I just kind of offered my opinions about it, and they were wonderful godly men. Because of the whole change in digital, the whole digital era, AI, we're totally out of sync with that.
Hi guys, welcome to Spill with Spill, and today we have none other than Pastor Lee Choo with us. We're so grateful. Thank you so much, Pastor Lee Choo. We have to catch you today because I know, man, your schedule is packed.
Well, kind of. I didn't expect it to be so packed.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good kind of busy.
We'll look into that.
It's been 1 year since the handover.
Wow.
How do you generally feel across the 1 year?
Interesting, isn't it? It's been 1 year, and I didn't think that it has been 1 year.
I know.
It seemed like not so long ago, but to be honest, in terms of, let's say, the responsibilities, I do feel it's kind of nice. It's been significantly long enough.
Yeah, yeah. And in your personal life, have anything changed for you?
Yes, I think there is. For instance, I'm hardly in church, which is not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But I don't know why my schedule totally changed towards the beginning of this year onwards. I think I was aware that I could take on more out of church engagements, which I have never done actually. Actually, when I was a pastor in church, deputy senior pastor, I hardly took on out of church engagements. Pastor Choo did most of it. I really hardly did. But somehow, I don't know, after the transition, I felt at liberty to take on more out of church engagements. Hence the absence.
It's okay. I think it's good that you are a blessing to the wider body of churches.
But to be honest, I'm beginning to no, I want to be in my own church. A good example was Mother's Day, right, this year. Oh, a good example is both Easter, Good Friday, and Mother's Day. I wasn't in my own church. And I kind of missed it. And I really missed it until I told myself next year, no one can invite me to Mother's Day or Good Friday or Christmas or Easter. I want to be in my own church.
Wow.
It's just not the same.
Yeah. And I must say, we missed you. We understand that we released you to the body of Christ, but we missed you in SIBKL.
I'm glad you did. I thought you all would just say, oh, she's gone. That's fine.
No. In fact, I get a lot of requests. So they hear Pastor Choo quite a bit, but I get a lot of requests to hear Pastor Lee Choo.
But I am speaking in the next 2 months.
Yes, you are. I was like, more, they want more. And I think your message really resonates with people. And you carry a heart, just a heart.
I hope so. I'm told I'm the organic one. Pastor Choo is the clinical one.
That is true. That is true. And I think there's a portion of people that like structure. There's a portion of people that like organic. And I think, both is good. Both is good.
Okay, that's nice to know that.
It's true. I think your last sermon really went viral. Your workplace one.
Oh,
it
as a
really
mandate,
went viral because it's so true. Workplace as a mandate, and I think there's not enough sermons about the workplace.
Yeah, I do enjoy understanding that myself. Not that I don't think I've explored that topic exhaustively at all. In fact, no. I think I'm just touching the surface of it. But I'm really excited to know what this means for churches at large. And incidentally, if you don't know, other churches are asking us about how do we manage workplace.
Yeah, I think a lot. But I think you are in a very unique, good position because the first half, you did workplace. And then your second half, you purely did pastoral. So you are a good merge of the two. So you understand both worlds.
Yeah, I understand both worlds. But on top of it, even when I was doing pastoral, I was pulled into the workplace because of my family companies.
I see.
And it is traumatic to understand the workplace.
Yeah.
Because I realized that I think I had a wrong idea of workplace.
Okay.
as a doctor, you don't really understand the real workplace because, especially in KK, when you're a doctor, you're just you're the only one.
Yeah.
As I said, one stethoscope, one table, one nurse. You're in business. You really don't need to worry about cash flows and all that. But when I went to work for my family company, I understood work.
Wow.
It is really, I would say, is where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
Without cash flow, without some kind of sustainability, everything comes to a halt.
Yeah.
And it affects, work actually affects family, your own life,
Yeah.
spirituality,
Yeah.
everything comes into play there.
That's true.
So that's why I think it's an important area for us to understand.
It's true. And I think we need to explore it more. We love to say there's no sacred secular divide, but sometimes it's just a saying.
It is actually a lot
Yeah.
of sacred secular divide,
Yeah.
both for people in church. Example, when people work in church, they think that they've come into this amazing haven and they can, sorry, you may want to cut this out, but let me just say it, that grace is all we need.
Yeah.
But there needs to be performance, there needs to be excellence. In fact, there needs to be a greater amount of excellence, but with grace.
Yeah.
Then those who work, so there is this sacred secular divide in church. But when people go out to work, so I was praying for someone, and it was interesting. I actually said to her, the way you're asking me to pray for you for your work sounds like when you go to work, God is not there. As if God is left only in church. And when you go out there, you're on your own.
Yeah.
That is a sacred secular divide. And that is sad.
Yeah. And we need to, as a church, we need to try to bridge the gap a lot more.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an important area for us to work on.
Yeah.
Maybe an additional area to work on.
I think so. We have work to do. But coming back to transition a little bit, how do you generally feel SIBKL has been in this 1 year?
Actually, Pastor Choo and I love this transition.
Oh, do you?
Example, when it came to SPO retreat last year, right? We had transited, 7-7 had gone through, we're now heading into SPO retreat.
I remember.
Suddenly, Pastor Choo said, so nice this year. We just go to the retreat, enjoy ourselves, and without a single idea what we're going to do or say. We had no plans, we didn't know what we need to plan about. So we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then came Christmas. It was even better. We said, wow, Christmas is so good this year. And Pastor Choo said to me, do you know, I don't have to worry whether there's going to be an altar call or not. And, that. And I said to him, do you know what it is? I don't even have to think of what they will produce.
Yes.
It was absolute bliss.
Wow.
It was fantastic. I said, you don't know how, and we enjoyed it.
Really, it's really hilarious that you mention it, because for the first time this last year at SPL retreat, I was stressed.
I know.
I was stressed.
I know.
Because in previous years when I go, it was enjoyment.
So
Pastor Choo and Pastor Lee Choo think of everything. I just go, I get imparted to, we plan a little bit, and I go home. But
well, that's called a good transition.
last year, I remember, I told my wife, I don't know why I'm so stressed this year. I have to plan everything. I cannot sleep well. Kim's like, I think the transition is happening.
Happened.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. But do you feel like there is something that SIBKL has become that maybe you're not happy with? Or do you feel like it's okay, it's good? How do you generally feel?
Wow, it's only a year.
Yeah.
I'm actually very happy with all that's happened so far. I think it is a necessary transition. I can never forget how when people asked Pastor Choo, last year, during the podcast, do we have to transit? Can't you work on till you are 90, like Mahathir or something like that?
That's true.
And he says, no, not to transit would be disobedience.
Wow.
I think that still really is a powerful point. I think as much as he mentioned, to come into the calling is an act of obedience, but the next stage of your life, to step out of one role into another role, also requires obedience.
Yeah.
So that to me is crucial in understanding transition. I think because of that, I think I'm very happy with the transition.
Yeah.
Why? Because firstly, we ourselves have transited. And I hope I can say this, well, correct me if I'm wrong, I think both of us have transited well.
I think so.
We're not like transiting into nothingness, wondering what has happened, looking for significance. I think that would be a bad transition. And if we transit badly, then neither can you transit well. Because then we will always lack significance, trying to find significance back in where we were.
Yeah.
So that is where I said the transition was good. But when I look at you, as well as all the other pastors rising up,
Yeah.
including leaders rising
Yes,
up,
it's true.
actually, we have transited well.
It's true.
I think one thing you have transited well is that you have taken on the burdens well.
That's also true.
When I look
Oh,
at
my
you
goodness.
worrying about the renovations, the lifts, wow, we offer our 2 cents worth of
course
opinion,
you do,
right?
yes,
But
yes.
actually, the problem is yours.
It's true. I sometimes at night, 11:30 at night, I will wonder, hey, have they removed this carpet? Because I want this carpet. Have they removed this glass? What are they doing with this glass? Can we reuse it? I have all these thoughts, you know.
Well, you know something, Isaac?
Yeah.
You transited into 2 people's roles.
Yeah.
Pastor Choo never worried about carpets and class and all that because he left that all to me, right?
Yeah.
And so you are actually carrying on the burden of 2 people. Pastor Choo would have to worry what would be the theme of the pulpit.
Yeah.
How would the pulpit series be? And all those big, big things, right?
Yeah.
And me would be like, will the carpet match the chairs?
Production.
Will people like the carpet?
Yes. Or
Will
the-
they complain about the carpet?
Yes.
So you're having both.
Wow.
So we transited really well. You're carrying both burdens.
I really think so. Honestly speaking, not trying to butter you up, I honestly do think you and Pastor Chew have transited well. You've led well, and you've led the strategy of transition well. I think there was, remind everybody here listening, how many years did it take for us to plan this transition?
Yeah, actually, people don't realize it is quite a number of years, right? I can think of Pastor Chew in 2013 wanted to transit, and I knew it wasn't the right time because I never felt that was the right timing. But as I think by 2018, when the whole idea of transitioning came, and the need to transit because age catches up, right? I think since then we have talked about it, and then of course 2019, it began to take it seriously. And so in a good 5 years now, right?
Yeah.
So it's not an overnight thing.
Yeah.
And what is beautiful about our transition is the way the Lord guided us.
Yeah.
That it has to be done step by step. The way, I think in the early years, we built that understanding into the congregation even. We talked about transition, I think, way back in 2021?
2020, 2021.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Yep.
From the pulpit.
Yep.
We even had, remember we had Leaders Advance?
Yes.
When we talked about church plans and all that.
Yep.
New ideas, in
Yep.
other words. Yeah, so I think because of all this groundwork, I think the buying into transition was already there.
That's true.
So I think that is what I would say, by the grace of God,
Yeah.
laying the ground. I think you need to lay the groundwork, you need to lay the runway to
Yeah.
build on towards transition. It's not an overnight thing. It's not even, I don't think it's even a 2-year, 3-year project. I think it took about 5
It did.
years.
It
Yeah.
did. And I remember very clearly, you played a pivotal role in the transition because you were one of the, I think, the key mastermind in our transition blueprint.
Oh, really?
You remember our manual?
Oh.
Our transition blueprint? This is
Really?
Yes.
I'm-
We remember how we spent 6 months cooking the blueprint and what strategies are we employing? How do we transit this? How do we transit that? How we transit this? And you were the mastermind.
Well, I wouldn't say I was the mastermind.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened. I think God was the real mastermind
Yeah.
because, to be honest, the elders were coming up with the
Yeah.
transition, the key elders, right?
Yes.
The 3 of them. But the good news was we have wonderful elders. I think the transition only worked well because we have wonderful eldership
true.
board.
It's true.
Wonderful. Much
Agreed.
as they were men, and it's hard to sit on a board of men,
Yeah.
being the only woman, I just kind of offered my opinions about it, and they were wonderful, godly men. And they said, let's review this again.
Yeah.
And so as they said, let's review this again, God was able to bring us all together
Yeah.
to re-look at transition from a slightly different lens. And I think that it worked.
Yeah, it did.
It works.
It
I
did.
don't know how the 6-page manual ended, or 6, how many pages?
No, we had hundreds of pages.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a long transition.
Okay,
blueprint.
that was also the work of our members, right?
Correct.
It's
It
only
is.
good.
Amazing
Members
leaders.
who rose up to say,
Yeah.
we will help you.
Yeah.
We do this for companies.
Yeah.
Now, this when there's no sacred secular divide.
Agreed.
When people look at church transition as different from, let's say, a big company transition,
Mm-hmm.
and say, no, it has to be done spiritually, and that's not, what does that mean?
Mm.
No, there's no sacred secular divide. What is important, we're transiting God's house.
Yeah.
How can we pool expertise together?
Yeah.
How can we pool people who already have transited big companies?
Yeah.
So we pulled them in, and they had such a love for the house,
Yeah.
never charged us a penny.
I know.
And they just had so much ownership,
Yeah.
and they came and helped us. They process our thoughts. You know,
Agreed.
as pastors, we may not be able to process the thoughts in that way.
Yeah.
And together with the elders present,
Yeah.
they literally took us to workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what helped a lot.
I think that was key.
Yes.
One of the key points.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember very clearly that they strategized for companies, so they helped us strategize. So it was practical, it was logical, it was good. But one thing I loved about our leaders is that they prayed.
Yes.
They had prayer altars.
Oh, they prayed.
prayed.
They fasted for this whole thing.
So it was not just practical, but it's also spiritual as well.
Very,
Yeah.
very.
So I think it took 3-4 years of praying, planning,
Yeah.
strategizing to see this happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think what people do, and I think we should mention this.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is that we met quite often
Yes.
to work on it as a workshop.
Yeah.
It
It's true.
doesn't. You cannot just, and you cannot have the whole church involved in the workshop.
Yeah.
Just a group of people. What I would say, key leaders, strategic enough,
Yeah.
working with outsiders who can see our fault lines and see our
Blind spots.
blind spots and help us ask us serious questions,
Mm-hmm.
never giving us an answer, so that we would be able to come up with answers ourselves. I think
Yeah.
that's brilliant. That's the work of God.
Yeah.
That is truly the work of God.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is
But I'm
true.
surprised that you brought this up, because I totally forgot about this.
Yeah.
I
No,
totally
as
forgot.
I was preparing for this podcast, I kind of prepared a few questions for Pastor Choo, and I kind of know a few questions for Pastor Lee Choo, which is yourself. And I thought I kind of want to remind you of this whole process that we went through. And because I knew you were one of the key people that says, hey, let's bring this leader in, and let's pray together, and let's plan this through. So I'm grateful.
Praise God.
I'm grateful.
I absolutely forgot about that.
It's okay. It's okay. Because one thing I carry with me, because one fine day I have to plan it too.
True.
And I think I carry in one of my journals, because to say, hey, this is what we did. I don't want to forget. And let's repeat what was good. And,
I think that's good. That's good that you caught that, because
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard of other groups doing this, other churches doing this. So maybe
Yeah.
that might be a helpful tool,
correct. Correct.
and even for yourself.
Yeah.
For that matter, even like, let's say when pastors are transiting to the next leadership, they should think of a process rather than a one-to-one thing.
Yes.
One-to-one transition is a bit tough.
Yes.
But when you involve a slightly more collaborated process, what I like about transition is that we are not transiting just to you. We're transiting to a whole team.
You're right. Yeah.
So you're not alone.
You're right.
You're not
and,
alone.
And that is one of the key strategies out of that blueprint that came out. And I remember very clearly you said that the transition is not from one man to one man. It is from a generation to generation. It is from a team to team. And it is from a season to a season.
Wow.
And I think out of that, it made me realize that it is true. Transition involves the members,
Yes.
the leaders,
Yes.
the church. So
Yes.
we then came up with a sub-strategy on how can we transit the whole church and
Yes.
bring the church along
Yes.
through this.
Yes.
And I think if I were to bring out one of the transition strategy that was cooked up, I think this will be it. That transition takes time. Transition takes everyone to do it together. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, of course. And that's one of the reasons why we had last year's podcast.
Yes.
Last year's podcast was to bring everyone into that space.
Agreed.
Difficult questions asked, searching
Agreed.
questions asked, but we went for it.
Yeah.
So that everybody can see that, hey, we are all in it together.
Yeah.
But I like one thing you mentioned, season to season.
Yeah.
That is such a powerful
Mm.
understanding about transition. It's
Yeah.
definitely not man to man.
Yeah.
When Moses transited to Joshua, it's a season of Moses
Yeah.
to the season of Joshua.
Yeah.
I don't think Moses was that fighting general.
Mm.
I don't think so.
Mm.
But Joshua was.
Joshua was.
You see, he
Yeah.
was prepared for war. He was the one who would go to conquer.
Yeah.
So, just like Winston Churchill, he's for war.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he was suitable for the next season,
The next season,
of
England.
England at that time.
That is true.
So maybe God is really training us that it's also about seasons. One of the things Pastor Chu and I always say, no way can we lead the current next generation, Gen Zs and those to come, because of the whole change in digital, the whole digital era, AIs. We're totally out of sync with that.
Oh, you're pretty good. You're pretty okay. You're pretty up to date. Yeah.
I can merely manage ChatGPT.
Yeah. You may not remember what I'm going to tell you next, but you did. I remember we had, before the transition, we had a one-on-one. And I have quite a few one-on-one with Pastor Choo, but I remember our one-on-one because it was fewer than my one-on-ones with Pastor Choo. And I remember asking you, what is one challenge I would face and what is one advice you have for me? And you told me that, number one, God will test you. But you didn't say God will test you in how you perform or God will test you in whatever it is, your KPIs or whatever. But it says God will test your character on how you will handle the responsibilities and how you will handle the platform and how you will handle this transition. God will test your character. You didn't mention the specifics, but you gave me the advice to say that never forget your quiet time, your abiding, never forget your relationship with God, because it is from there that you will draw strength in your testings. And I think I took that advice pretty seriously because after the transition, there were a few testings that came along the way.
Sure.
But one testing that I want to bring up would be a testing of whether I could hold the platform together with you and Pastor Choo. Because one transition strategy is Pastor Choo and both of you will still be around while I'm there as well. So there is an exchange zone that's happening. And a testing is, will I be threatened by both of your presence?
That's true. That's a big test.
It's a big test. Will I, for example, if your thoughts are different from my thoughts, will I feel like I need to exert myself? Do I need to display and put on a show of power or something? And I think a few times along the way, that testing really did come along. And it really taught me to say, hey, you are learning.
Wow.
You have not arrived.
Wow.
And it humbled me. It really reminds me that God is not about me.
Wow.
So if I have to be more humble to just listen, that's fine by me.
Wow.
So I think that was an advice that I kept. How have God tested you in this transition?
Thank you for tuning in to SPIL. Our next episode will air next Monday at 8 a.m. Subscribe and follow us on our social media platforms for more updates.